Nearly 700,000 Sri Lankans affected by the drought. Sahana Yatra commences to provide relief to the affected. Notices issued on E-News editor Sandruwan Senadwira to appear in court for contempt of court. Police fire tear gas and water cannon yet again at protesting university students in Colombo. Former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga recalls the past.
No sign of rain.
Several districts across the island have been severely affected by the prevailing drought.
People across the island are in dire need of your assistance.
The Sirasa, Shakti and Newsfirst and TV1 Sahana Yatra has recommenced.
We will tell you all about it in a moment, including the collection points. This is News First, your #1 news provider. I am Shamir Rasuli.
I'm Sonali Wanikabadage. We start off first with a look at your local stories. Police fired tear gas and water cannons today to disperse a protest march staged by university students.
The demonstration was launched by students of the University of the Visual and Performing Arts. Members of the Inter-University Students' Federation also took part in the protest march, which was staged against a private medical college in Malabay. Even though a court order was issued against the protesting university students close to the Kolpiti Junction, it was defied by the students. Police fired tear gas and water cannons when the protesters attempted to approach temple trees from the Kolpiti Junction.
The Disaster Management Centre says that nearly 695,000 people in the island are currently affected by the prevailing drought. It added that a total of 13 districts are gripped by the situation.
The Batticaloa district is the worst affected part of the country, impacting over 302,005 people. The official website of the Disaster Management Centre says that 27,224 families in the Jaffna district are facing the impacts of the drought. The drought has affected 15,258 people in the Mannar district. In the Hambantota district, over 14,505 people remain affected. Meanwhile, close to 200,000 people in the Kalutara district are facing a crisis due to the mixture of salt water with the water of the Kethena water treatment plant. The districts of Munaragala, Badulla, Ratnapura, Anuradhapura, Kandy, Gampaha and Trincomalee are also facing the adverse effects of the drought. As a result of the prevalent drought, the only well used by the locals of the 8-acre village in Munaragala for their consumption has dried up.
මේලිනෙන් තමයි බොණ්ඩ වතුර ගන්නෙ බොණ්ඩ වතුර ගත්තට ඉතුරු වැඩට වළම් පිඟන් හොදන්න ඔක්කොටම ගන්නෙ වැවෙන් වතුර අර කොළ පාට වැවෙන් මං අද උදේත් වතුර කලගඩි 6ක් ඇද්දා වැවෙන් මට ඇත්තටම දුකයි මේ ළමයින්ගේ රෙදි ටික හොද ගන්නත් නෑ මට අපිට වතුර වල නම් හරි කරදරයි තමයි අවිච්ච කරන් තියෙන එකම ලිඳ තමයි මේ අපි පාන්දර 4ට එන්න ඕන මෙතනට කල දෙකයි වතුර ගන්න පුළුවන් එක පවුලකට උදේ 4ට තමයි අපි ලිඳ ගාවට එන්නේ ගෙදර යනකොට 8 විතර වෙලා.
Locals of this village are compelled to travel a distance of 4 kilometers to carry out their daily sanitary necessities. They only get the opportunity of having a bath just twice a month. Even for this purpose, they have to travel to the Kumbukkan Oya, which is 14 kilometers away. At a time when most of rural Sri Lanka is severely impacted by the drought, the bund of the Kiribban tank, which is nourished by the Udavalava tank, has broken away, causing gallons of water to go to waste.
The committee, consisting of ministry secretaries appointed by the President to take expeditious decisions to minimize the hardships faced by the people during the drought, convened a media briefing today to elaborate on the current status of the situation.
If you take into account the reservoirs which come under the purview of the Ministry of Mahavali Development, the water capacity of these reservoirs currently stand at below 50%. So we are carefully managing the water, giving priority to the requirement of drinking water. Then we are given priority to releasing water for agriculture and other purposes. The next 2 to 3 months will be extremely challenging, particularly in the food production sector. So it is important that we prepare ourselves to face these matters. It is essential that we manage our food consumption. There has been no major issue as yet in providing water. It is extremely important that the clean drinking water which we distribute is used sparingly. Now if you take a look at the city of Colombo, we see a waste of nearly 40% of the water. If you take the entire country as a whole, around 28 to 30% of water is wasted. So if we can control or even put a stop to this, I think we will be able to face the drought.
The Sirasa Shakti TV1, MBC and Newsfirst Sahanayatra commenced this morning to provide relief to the people affected by the drought.
Since this morning, donations poured into the collection point at the head office of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited in Braybrook Place, Colombo 2. 3 other Sahanayatra collection points have also been set up at Stein Studios Watmalana, MTV MBC the Panama Studio Complex and at the Harrison's Building along Dali Road, Colombo 10.
Thank you.
I know that if Sirasa initiates something, that it will not go to waste. It will happen. We have that trust. We have trust that the people who are in need will receive this. We are thankful to Sirasa for doing something like this.
Everyone feels hungry. Everyone needs water to drink. If we can help in that endeavor, that is a great thing. Sirasa is doing a great task. You will be blessed.
මේ කරන කාර්යයට මම ආරාධනා කරනවා රටේ අනිකුත් ජනතාවටත් හැකියපමණින් ආධාර කරලා මේ කාර්ය සාර්ථක කර ගැනීමට ඉදිරිපත් වන ලෙස
අපි අනිත් සහෝදර සහෝදරියන්ට ඉතින් වතුර නැහැනේ. අපිට මෙහෙම පුළුවන් හිටියේ දොවක් කරන්න හිතුවා. සල්ලි ඉතින් කරදරයි වුණානේ ඉතින්. දොවක් කරන්න ඕනේ ඉඳන් අපි වතුර බෝතල් ටිකක් අහු කරලා කියනලා දුන්නා.
පොඩි හරි දොවක් කරන්න අධ්‍යාපන ලැබෙන සිසුන් නිදියට අපිට පුළුවන් වුණ ගැන අපි ගොඩාක්ම සතුටු වෙනවා.
හැමදාමත් සිරසින් කරන්නේ රටට ලොකු සේවයක්. ඒක ඇහුණ ගමන් ගොඩක් අය ප්‍රබෝධමත් වෙලා හරි උත්සාහවන්ත වෙනවා.
මීට මා අවුරුදු 4කට ඊට ඉස්සර මගේ නෝන නැති වුණා. අද වගේ දවසක මට ඒක ගැන හිතට අද හරි වේදනයි. ඒක නිසා මම මේක බෙදාගෙන ගියා. මම මේ ගෙනාවා. මම තවත් ගෙනල්ලා දෙනවා.
Plans have been made for the aid that will be collected today and tomorrow to be distributed to the people who are in need on Saturday. You can donate bottled water, rice, sugar and milk powder to the Sana Yatra. Call us now on 0114-896-896 for more details.
As you have done in the past, this is your time again to help your brethren. Just drop off your relief items to the head office of the Capital Maharaja Organisation down Braybrook Place, Colombo 2, Stein Studios, Ratmalana, MTV MBC, the Panama Studio Complex, as well as the Harrison's Building along Dali Road, Colombo 10. Joining us now live is Newsfirst Ramesh Urgal Mandara from the head office of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited in Braybrook Place, Colombo 2, one of the collection points of the Sirasa Shakti News TV1 and Newsfirst NBC Sahanayatra. Ramesh, it's over to you.
Shamir, well, as you said, I'm joining you from the MTV MBC head office located down Braybrook Place in Colombo 2, which is one of the drop-off points for the Sirasa Shakti TV1, MBC and Newsfirst Sahanayatra, which was launched this morning. We started collecting donations at around 8:30 a.m. this morning, and we have received a steady inflow of donations from the general public who have been very willing to donate to this worthy cause and help out their fellow brothers and sisters who have been severely affected due to the drought conditions that is gripping most of the country. Now, I know that Shamir earlier mentioned the drop-off points. There have been 4 drop-off points that have been set up in Colombo, in Pandipitiya, in Ratmalana, as well as another place in Colombo. What I need to stress is that we need water and dry rations such as rice, milk powder, dal, canned fish and dry rations such as that, because the people who are affected by this water crisis are also affected by bad crops, bad harvest, so they are facing small shortages of food as well. So in addition to water, if you can drop off dry rations, it would be a great help. Do not think that whatever little that you can contribute will not have an impact. Every drop of water, every small bottle of water, every packet of rice that you can donate to us will have a huge impact on the lives of these people. Just want to let you know that if you are watching this broadcast and you feel like you want to donate to the Sirsa Shakti Sahanayatra campaign, you can always come to any of the locations that we mentioned earlier. Our doors are open 24/7. We will be collecting items today as well as throughout the day tomorrow before the Newsfirst team departs on Saturday morning to drop off all the collected relief items to the affected people. That's it from the MTV MBC head office located in Bravebrook Place, Colombo 2. Shamir, it's back to the studio.
Thank you very much, Ramesh, for that comprehensive update. You were spot on, right, as far as the relief operation is concerned. If you can donate whatever you have, just do so. We have 4 collection points opened. The head office of the Capital Maharaja organization down Bravebrook Place, Colombo 2, Stein Studios, Ratmalana, as well as the MTV NBC Studio Complex in Depanama, as well as the Harrison's building along Dali Road, Colombo 2. You can do so quickly as possible and join us in this relief effort.
The Inter-Company Employees Union staged a protest march to the central bank today. The protest was staged calling for measures to be taken against the bond transactions.
Members of the Intercompany Employees Union who marched to the central bank in protest against the inaction towards the bond issue requested for a meeting with the central bank governor. The protesters claimed that they have not received a response to the letter which was addressed to the central bank governor 2 weeks ago. Police barriers were put in place to control the protesters. Thereafter, 5 of the protesters were granted the opportunity to meet with the governor. He promised today that he would send a response to this matter within a week. We will not look on for so long until these thieves are punished. We told him that we could come back to the central bank next day. We will take a decision on the future course of action depending on this response.
Notices were issued today on the editor of the Lanka e-news website, Sandurwan Senadera, to appear before the Supreme Court on the 3rd of March.
The notices were issued when 14 petitioners filed by attorney-at-law Madhura Vithanage citing contempt of court on Senadera's part were considered before the Supreme Court today. The bench comprised of Justice Priyasa Depp, Priyanta Jayawardena and Nalin Pereira.
Lanka e-news has committed grave contempt by attacking the judges, their character, their background without any base. Sandurwan Senadera is a refugee and is hiding from the public. Therefore, first the notice, in fairness, the notice must be issued to his local address, and the Supreme Court loved that, and the case we mentioned on the 3rd of March. And there was another case in which Attorney at Law Chandrasekhar Ratna has defamed the judges by writing an article in E-News. He was also made accused, and he will be also called, he will be summoned to appear on the 3rd of why they should not be convicted of contempt.
We should be happy that this government has come forward to allow the judiciary to function independently. When the court verdict on this matter is issued and when a statement is been recorded from this person, we can determine who from Sri Lanka is paying him to sling mud at politicians and businessmen. I think this is what we must first find out. There are certain politicians in this country and their henchmen. All they do is make an income through these methods. There is an opportunity to publish anything you want on social media, so it should be used correctly.
Earlier this evening, I caught up with President's Counsel Hemantha Varnakulasuriya. Today saw 14 petitions being filed at the Supreme Court, the apex court of the land, all to do with the contempt of court. You appeared on behalf of the petitioner.
The bar has never complained against them. Bar has no problems with them. But this man, Sandharwan Senadira, because he is being paid by various sources to attack the judges with the ulterior motive of demonizing the Sri Lankan judiciary, making them corrupt and incompetent, so that their ultimate agenda is to bring foreign judges. Sri Lanka will be successful. We say that the judges must be completely independent.
So on the one hand, we have the independence of judiciary, which is sacred and vital to a country's continuation. And on the other hand, we have the freedom of expression, publication, which is enshrined in the Constitution. How do we draw a balance?
Yeah, we have to protect the judiciary, protect the freedom of expression, freedom of thought and freedom of publication. But if a website which will be uploaded in some other country, if they think they have the freedom to publish anything they want because they can't be brought before court. Now that is the thing we must protect. Where is the protection of an individual? The Bar Association has a duty, it's in the Constitution, to protect the independent judiciary. They should have taken this matter up. They should have gone and filed this application, not me. But if the Bar Association has failed, the new legislation must be brought in. I think there's consensus. There's no one who is opposed to that. And this will effectively stop these attacks being carried out against not only judges, against individuals.
So what is the future of this case? An individual, several individuals were summoned before court.
They decided to issue notice on Sandharwan Sena on the last known address. So I think that's a major victory for all those persons who are toiling, who suffered under this absolute monster who is heading the web mafia, supported by some Sri Lankan politicians.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hemantha Varnakulasuriya, President's Counsel, joining us on Newsline.
CCTV cameras often provide invaluable evidence that leads to the identification of offenders and help police save time during investigations. Here is a report on 2 criminal acts captured on CCTV cameras. Viewer discretion advised.
Parental advisory, violent content. Viewer discretion is advised. This attack took place opposite a restaurant in Madula, Avisavela last night. CCTV footage shows a person who arrived at the restaurant in a car being assaulted by a person who arrived there in a 3-wheeler. The person who was assaulted leaves the location while the assailant starts a brawl with the staff of the restaurant. The police added that the 3-wheeler driver had followed the car driver and assaulted him once again. The victim had succumbed to his injuries around 10 p.m. last night while being taken to a private hospital in Ratnapura.
My brother was sent to the restaurant to buy some food. It's the people who assaulted him that had admitted him to the hospital.
According to the police, the deceased has been identified as Naranjan Pushpakumara, a gem merchant. Police suspects that a business issue could be the reason behind the assault. Meanwhile, a gruesome murder that took place on the 3rd of this month was also captured on CCTV cameras. A 45-year-old father of 3 who was a resident of Kotuvila was killed in the incident. Police has not made any arrest with regard to the incident yet.
The Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division inspected the D.A. Rajapaksa Museum and surrounding areas today.
The location was inspected by officers of the Police Financial Crimes Investigations Division and a group of valuation officials to obtain a final valuation report. The inspection was carried out in relation to an ongoing investigation over the alleged expenditure of 90 million rupees for the renovation of the tombstones of D.A. Rajapaksa and his wife and the construction of a museum under a project which was named Veerakatya Scheme. Investigations have revealed that funds of the Land Reclamation and Development Corporation, which was under the purview of the Minister of Defence during the tenure of Gotabaya Rajapaksa as Defence Secretary, had been deposited to the Rajapaksa Foundation for this purpose. Former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa has appeared before the FCID to provide statements with regard to this matter on several prior occasions.
Dr. Gunadasa Amarasekara arrived at the New Magazine prison to look into the well-being of Vimal Veeravansa.
He may have used vehicles, however, it is not a crime. That is a complete misinterpretation. Misuse is by no means a criminal offence. Vimal Veeravansa was remanded over the allegations that he misused around 40 vehicles at state expense. It was revealed in court that he had provided these vehicles to the relatives of his wife and close associates. According to police reports presented to court, the loss incurred owing to the misuse of vehicles amounts to around 9 million rupees.
Former Minister D.E.W. Gunasekara convened a press briefing today.
What has happened to politics at present is that there is a political culture that has formed. Stealing cannot be stopped, whichever government is in power. Corruption cannot be stopped. It has been established in society. I was also in prison for 3 months when JR took me. Did the media come and take pictures? Did they come and see us? Vijay Kumar Rathunga was arrested. Was he photographed? Hector Kobekkadu was arrested. Was he photographed? Ratnasiri Vikramanayake was arrested, but was he photographed? Now they do. The government is also at fault for letting it happen. The police is also at fault for letting it happen. The opposition and the ruling party both should think. What happens to this is that the people will also think that they too can rob. Then the robbing will become the culture, and that will be the end. Is your group working to bring Mahinda Rajapaksa into power? No, there is no such thing. That is coming after 4 years. That is not in the party agenda. The chairman of your party, the government, we are in the opposition. He too is in the opposition. We don't have this agenda in our party. At joint opposition media briefings, it has been said that Mahinda Rajapaksa should be brought back. No, that is an anti-government stance. Do not ask us what Vimal Veeravansa says and what Gammampila says.
Candid thoughts indeed. This time around it was former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga expressing her views at an event in Rakwana today. Let's take a listen.
Dear friends, you can't promise good governance today and achieve it tomorrow. They had ruined the entire country and left. They had reduced the economy to zero after stealing in millions. They did not even have money to pay the wages. When a country is in debt, the inflation rises and the value of the rupee depreciates. This is what has happened. They provided just a few jobs, not a lot. These cannot be done until the economy is recovered. The development activities are taking place gradually. The government has directed the economy of the country on the correct path, and you will be able to see the results during the course of this year.
Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake met billionaire and Chinese e-commerce business tycoon Jack Ma on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos today. The meeting took place during a gathering of business leaders.
As you know, World Economic Forum is held once a year, and we have been privileged to be invited for this, and we participate, the Prime Minister, myself and Marik Samaravikrama. You could see that there have been 54 state leaders as well as about 280 ministers that are attending this conference, which is also blessed with about 1,100 of key businessmen worldwide. And in the process, we basically managed to meet up with very many. And one particular person was Alibaba's Mr. Ma. So he basically had shown tremendous interest in coming to Sri Lanka and made enthusiastic him to come as soon as possible, and he said that he will pay us a visit before too long. So I think investments of this nature, Sri Lanka was very much in his mind when we spoke and tried to get it our way.
The United National Party revealed today that lands obtained under Vimal Weerawansa's wife's name during his tenure as minister had been granted to other persons prior to the presidential election. The revelation was made during a media briefing on the transactions which took place in Hambantota during the previous government.
The president who worked in Hambantota held an election 2 years early and even ran away from Hambantota to Kurunegala. The nation lost a sum of 37.2 billion rupees because of the Hambantota port. By June 2015, we had incurred a loss of 13.6 billion rupees because of the Mattal airport. Would he pay this sum just because he is the former president or the former government? No, it is the poor and innocent people of this country who will. It is the poor person who has to pay the pickpocketing tax called the indirect tax. On the 16th of September 2014, the Sri Lanka Ports Authority signed an agreement with the China Harbour Engineering Company and the China Merchants Holding International Company. Do the people of this country know this? Did they not lease 1,500 acres of land in Ulhitia to the American-based Dole Company? Did they not lease 20 acres of the military hospital in Galle to the Shangri-La Hotel? Did they not give the islands in Kalpitia to India and Belgium? They recruited non-permanent staff for these projects because they wanted to make them political stooges. Well, they realized that their government was to topple, so they could have made these employees permanent, couldn't they? If the lands purchased for Vimal Weerawansa's wife could be given to someone else as a gift by the 8th of January, they could have, at the very least, made these employees permanent.
State Minister of Skills Development and Vocational Training, Palitha Range Bandara, made another revelation about former Minister Vimal Weerawansa today.
Back then, when the government was being constructed in
A quick reminder to our viewers about the prevailing drought in Sri Lanka. 700,000 people have been affected. 15 districts are under the brunt of the weather gods right now. We have begun the relief operations. 4 collection points. The head office of the Capital Maharaj Organization Limited, Bravery Place, Colombo 2, Sonali, Stein Studios, Ratmalana, MTV and BC Studio Complex in Depanama, and the Harrison's Building along Dali Road, Colombo 2. You can drop off the goods and make someone smile. That's it for the moment.
That's right, Shamir. And we need to remind our viewers that we will be setting off from Colombo on Saturday. So tomorrow at 10 p.m. we will be finishing up with the collection activities as well. That wraps up Primetime News. I'm Sonali Wanik-Badake.
And I am Shamir Rasuldeen. Take care and good night.